Hello guys, Adrian Clarke here. Welcome to the breakdown. Arsenal then complete the perfect Champions League phase. 8 wins from 8. Kairat Almaty, 11 changes of course, but still got the job done by 3 goals to 2. Should really have been a much wider gap, I think, between the two sides, but a win is a win. And this was more fun, wasn't it? And I really enjoyed, I don't know what you guys thought about Mikel Arteta's comments around the Manchester United game, but I really liked what he had to say about that reset, about asking the players what sort of team they want to be, and basically to sort of seize the moment and have a little bit of fun and go out and win these things rather than worrying about not winning them. So hopefully, look, caution is going to be cast aside a little bit and we can play with positivity, because in this match we absolutely played with a bit more adventure. Now, it was the right fixture, obviously it was an easy game, big class difference between the two sides, no pressure at all on the match, so all of those factors have to be taken into consideration. But I did like the movement, I like the energy, I like the positive style of play that Arsenal produced for most of this game. Really should have scored 7 or 8 goals. Got to work on the finishing, that is for sure. Right, let's get cracking with some analysis of the game. Let's start with the star man, Kai Havertz. Wow, incredible. His first start for almost a year, and he turns in, a 9 out of 10 display. It was a superb, scintillating first half performance from Kai Havertz, who was involved, of course, in all 3 of our goals. Let's go through them, because it's not just about Kai. I also think, and regulars to this channel will know that I bang on about running. You've got to run hard in football. You've got to run to disrupt defenders. You've got to run to take people outside of their comfort zone. You've got to run to pierce holes in an opposition defence, and we did it. And I think sometimes we're guilty of not doing enough of it. We run a lot, but when I say run, I mean make a positive run that's going to affect a defender, that's going to take them away and cause them a problem. We did this brilliantly in the game. So let me run you through the 3 goals involving Kai Havertz. Let's start with this one, of course. Very early on in the game, Eze plays between the lines. We didn't see enough of that, did we, against Manchester United? Into Kai Havertz, who's playing central, kind of as a 10, or he's a right-sided 8, but he came in as a 10 quite a lot of the time. Takes it on the back foot, and as we wind it on, look at Gyökeres. Look at Gyökeres. He's already on the move. He's just about to pass that ball there. He's just made contact, but he's already moved, and he's looking at the defender. He knows he's onside. It's a really good peel from Victor Gyökeres, and it's a lovely through ball. Obviously, he controls it very, very nicely, Gyökeres. And then as we go ahead, it's this touch here, right on the edge of the D. He knocks it out of his feet. Now, you see Gabriel Martinelli there, almost doing his best to get in the way of Victor, but he doesn't, thankfully. But it's a big touch, a heavy touch that takes him away from the defender, and he strikes his shot from where the end of that arrow is there into the bottom corner. It was a really, really nice goal for Victor Gyökeres. Yes, of course, he should have scored more. He had opportunities. Not quite sure how he missed that one from about 3 yards out. But that was a really good goal, and it was simple, playing through the lines, being brave. But it also owed much to Gyökeres sensing that's the moment to make the run. Let's look at goal number 2 now, shall we? And this one is very much all about Kai Havertz and his desire, whether he's playing up front or as a right 8 or as a 10 or wherever, his desire to run forward and to go and test the opposition defence. Sometimes we don't get enough of that from Eze or from Ødegaard. We got it from Kai Havertz in this game. Let's remind ourselves of what happened. Here you go. MLS plays a nice little pass through players for Ben White, who's got time to look up. And as you see there, Ben White's just about to make contact with the pass, but he knows what type of pass to hit, because look at Kai Havertz. He's already made the run. He started it. He started it before Ben White has made the pass, and that is the key. And we've caught that rear guard with a relatively high line quite early. He runs onto it, of course, shimmies past a couple of challenges and sticks it in the back of the net. So it was a really, really brilliant individual goal from Kai Havertz, and he wasn't done there, was he? Heavily involved in goal number 3. Should really have had an assist himself. That goes to Victor Gyökeres. But again, so we've seen goal number 1 and 2 caused by an early run. Well, goal number 3, surprise, surprise, features a couple of really nice runs as well. Let's show you those now. Here you go, Ben White's got it, and he just plays it on the angle for Norgard, who comes in from nowhere on the angle to make a run into that lovely little pocket of space on the edge of the box. As we wind it on, it sort of bounces up. It's a little lob pass, and he does that gorgeous back flick. But look at Kai Havertz. He was on the inside of the guy, and he's peeled around the outside of the guy. He's looking at the ball. Havertz peels around the outside and gets on the end of that flick. So with all three of those goals, and of course then we see him pass it across the face of goal. Victor gets a touch and Martinelli turns it in at the far stick. So with all three of those goals, you see instances there of players moving defenders and making early runs to make things happen. Look, he was off at half-time, wasn't he, Kai Havertz? I think that was pretty pre-planned for Martin Ødegaard. And Martin Ødegaard came on, and I think he did okay. He got on the end of a couple of crosses with headers, didn't he? And he saw a lot of the ball. He had many, many more touches than Kai Havertz. But ultimately, he didn't really create anywhere near as much havoc as Kai Havertz did in that first half. So look, why not compare the two? Opta analysts here have got a couple of, these are passes, successful passes, and shots from the game. Obviously, they had a half apiece. Let's start with Kai Havertz. There you see, pops up in the box on numerous occasions, and he played quite central. He played to the right of centre, but a lot of touches in that dead zone that we often look at with Arsenal matches where there's not enough people getting on the ball between the centre circle and the D. Well, he got onto it a few times and he caused problems. So that's Kai. Central and touches in the box. Let's look at Martin Ødegaard. Just the two touches in the box, well, for shots anyway. They were headers, very much more right-sided on the corner there, and not quite as much. There's a little bit of involvement centrally, which is great. Not quite as much, but he saw more right side heavy, isn't he, Martin Ødegaard? I think he did fine, but he was outshone on the day by Kai Havertz. He also probably played at the wrong time of the game, because in that first half, Kairat were a little bit rabbits in the headlights. That line was a little bit higher. In the second half, they learnt their lesson. They did drop off. And also, we didn't move them around quite as much. It's quite stark, actually, in terms of the XG from first half to second half. There's not much in it in terms of the shots. We actually had one more shot in the second half, 13-12. Let's have a look at the XG map for first half initially. Here you go. 3.34 XG. 12 shots, 6 on target, just the penalty for Kairat Almaty. Lots of big circles there representing big chances. Flick it onto the second half. Look at that, not so impressive. 0.73 XG for us. 13 shots, one more, but only 5 on target. And the circle's much smaller. We didn't get into the same kind of areas as often. We had good chances, there's no doubt about that. And I'm going to show you some of those a little bit later, particularly where Martinelli and Eze really came to the fore in the second half. I thought the pair of them were absolutely outstanding, but it wasn't as exciting in the second half. I think partly because of the changes, but also Kairat adjusted to the quality of the opposition, and sometimes it just works like that, doesn't it? It was a big opportunity for Martinelli and Madueke. Both were very, very dynamic, weren't they? They wanted to run at their opponents every time they had the ball. There's a lot of skill on show, a lot of tricks from both players. I think Noni Madueke completed 7 successful dribbles. Gabriel Martinelli completed 5 successful dribbles. But there is a big but here. One player produced good end product, the other one didn't. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that now. Let's start with Gabriel Martinelli, whose heat map, by the way, or touch map, is almost identical to Noni Madueke. They both have a lot of touches down each flank in advanced areas. So just keep that in mind when you look at these successful pass chalkboards. So we start with Martinelli. Here you go. Loads and loads, you see, from great areas. Down that left wing, right by the byline, putting the ball across the face of goal. There were left-footed crosses, outside of the right foot crosses. He was making good choices, Gabriel Martinelli, in and around the box. I thought it was excellent from him. He created 4 chances. Unfortunately, Noni Madueke didn't create a chance. And here is his successful pass map. And you see there, the successful passes are quite a long way out from goal. Just really the one time he gets to the byline and picks out a teammate. So that is the difference. Like I say, their touch maps were really, really similar. But in terms of successful passes, Martinelli got them, loads of them from good areas. Madueke was unsuccessful with most of his passes from near the byline, and that's what he needs to work on. We all know that. He knows that. Mikel Arteta knows that. And once he cracks it, he's going to be a heck of a player. But at the moment, it's not quite happening for him with the final decision. Now, I've got to say, in this game, Eberechi Eze did make some great decisions. He created 6 chances. Martinelli created 4, as I said. Havertz and Gyökeres 3 apiece. It was a terrific performance from him. I think in the second half especially, Eze came alive. He was, with Martinelli, our best player by far in the second half. He won the ball back 12 times. Let's have a look at it from Opta Analyst. Look at this little chalkboard here. We're kicking from left to right. So so a lot of these passes are high up the pitch. 4 of those are classified as inside the final third. That's 12 regains from Eberechi Eze, and I really, really enjoyed his performance. He played some beautiful passes. I'm going to just rattle through some of them now because he wanted to be positive. He wanted to go through 2 or 3 players. He did what he didn't do against United. He was brave. He wanted to play the more difficult pass. He executed most of them very, very nicely indeed. So let's start with this one. This one's for Miles Lewis-Skelly. A great little overlap. Martinelli plays it inside. Great triangle. Lewis-Skelly peels around the outside and he sees it early, and it's a lovely cushion pass into that area. I think we win a corner. The next one here is for Gabriel Martinelli. He receives it on the half turn, doesn't mess around, doesn't take 3, 4, 5 touches, looks up. Martinelli makes the run, he slides him in, and it's a poor shot in the end from Martinelli with his left foot. And again here, almost identical, gets it in a good area, he turns, space opens up and he slides in Gabriel Jesus, who really should have done a bit better with his attempted finish. So yeah, Eze was terrific. There's so many clips that I could show you from Eberechi in this game. We haven't really got time, I'm afraid. We'll get to, in terms of the goals against, a little bit sloppy, wasn't it, from Calafiori with the pull on the shirt. You're asking for trouble there, aren't you? Mosquera probably should win the first header. We lose that header. They get into the box, and then as soon as he tugs the shirt, you can't really have too many complaints. I'm going to show you the Hincapié incident for the last goal, right in the last kick of the game, when we get to player ratings, which comes now. So let's crack on with those player ratings. I'll start with Kepa. Obviously didn't have much to do here. I'm only going to give him a 6 because he didn't really have a save to make. And on the penalty, I felt he went way, way too early. This is what I mean. Have a look at this. Yeah, he's not even come up to the ball here, Jorginho. He's in his backswing, and Kepa's made his mind up for him. He's already on the move. He's telegraphing which way he's going to go. And it made it very easy for the penalty taker. So he gets a 6, Kepa. No disaster, but maybe he gifted that one to the striker. Ben White, for me, was a 7. Enjoyed him wearing the captain's armband. A nice assist. That made him happy. It was a sprightly performance. He won the ball back well. He got forward. I thought he did really, really well. Mosquera, for me, was the pick of the defenders. Excellent reading of the game. He's assertive, going to win the ball in front of the strikers. Very proactive, Mosquera. I'm going to give him an 8. I thought he was excellent. Ricardo Calafiori, I'm going to give a 6. He was poor for the penalty kick, and he didn't quite look himself. He looked a little bit rusty, and that might mean that he doesn't start against Leeds at the weekend. We'll have to wait and see on that. Miles Lewis-Skelly, I thought was really good actually at left back. Easy game for him, of course, but he was very solid. He put in some good crosses, some really good crosses. Could have had an assist when he played that lovely little. It was a nice little 1-2, wasn't there? A nice triangle. I think he played a 1-2 with Martinelli. Gets the ball back, whips it across the face of goal, and Gyökeres really should score. But he did make 2 chances, Lewis-Skelly, so it's a definite 7 for him. Christian Nørgaard, I'm going to give him an 8. I thought some great forward passes. He split the defence for a Jesus chance. He was involved, of course, in the goal that we saw earlier with that lovely little back flick. He was confident. I thought he looked really, really good during the game. He wanted to play forward as well. Eberechi Eze, it's an 8. It could be an 8.5, but I'm going to go with 8. 6 key passes, as I said, 12 regains. He oozed quality, and it was great to see him trying things and being a little bit more adventurous and bolder with his passing. There were loads and loads of good ones. Kai Havertz, for me, is the main man. He gets a 9 all day long. It was a virtuoso first half performance, and one that just sort of whets the appetite for what is to come. Obviously involved in all 3 goals. Brilliant goal himself. And I like him with Gyökeres. I really do. I think against maybe some of the easier opponents, or so-called easier opponents, we could go with Rice or Zubimendi, and maybe the sort of Eza, Havertz axis that we saw in midfield in this game, especially if he plays close to Gyökeres as he did in the game. Those two, with their running power, they could strike up quite a lot of chemistry and cause a lot of chaos. And regular viewers will know that I like a lot of chaos. So yeah, but absolute class from Kai Havertz, 9 out of 10. Madueke, I'm going to go 6. Some great dribbles, some amazing acceleration, lovely skills, but I have to judge players like this on end product as well. And you've got to be able to make goals, to score goals, and to set up chances for others. So you've got to work on that. But I'm a fan. But that aspect of the game must improve if he wants to get game time. Victor Gyökeres is a 7. Great goal. Absolutely superb. He was a handful. Yeah, he should have scored a couple more. Some good bits in flashes, some frustrating bits in patches as well. But I think it's a good performance, which means it's a 7. And for me, Martinelli, he's another 8.5. But I'm going to go 8. He ripped the right back to shreds, didn't he? Tore him to pieces, knocked it past him over and over again. But the quality of his crosses really impressed me as well. So well played to all of the starters, really. As for the subs, Hincapié, I'm only going to give him a 6. He was on obviously quite a while, but he was poor for the goal. Let's have a quick reminder of what happened for that goal. They break down the left, and he's got his man, and there I've circled him in red. As the guy has just crossed it, he's made a step. You'll see his left foot, he's made a step towards the ball, and that was fatal because it meant that he then had to turn the long way to track Ricardinho, who gets a free header at the far stick. So he gambled there, did Hincapié in it, and it backfired, and the guy had way too much space. So it wasn't great defending from Hincapié there. As for the other subs, Ødegaard, I think 6, fine, but probably not enough progressive passes from the skipper. Jesus, I'm going to go 6 as well. Yes, heavily involved. Yes, made some brilliant runs, but he wasn't ruthless with the finishing. He was quite sloppy, and I think he was trying to sort of overdo it a little bit, trying to be a little bit too clever. Just put it in the net and worry about how good it looks afterwards would be my message. So Jesus gets a 6 as well. And then the 2 kids, brilliant to see 2 academy graduates come on for their debuts, Brando Bailey-Joseph and Ife Ibrahim. Both get 6s because they're barely on for very long. But what an experience for them, and it's a great boost for the academy players. Those kids at Hale End will look at those boys and say, wow, that could be us in a few years' time. And that's in part why Mikel Arteta brought those 2 guys on, to provide inspiration. And look, hopefully it's the first of many appearances for both young lads. As for the manager rating, I'm going to go Mikel Arteta. I'm going to give him a 7. Great that he gave those kids their debut. It was a fun starting 11, really bold. And his pre-match quotes were terrific. I think they have hopefully set the tone for the final 4 months of the season. He's talking about everyone getting on the same boat and making it fun and enjoyable. Let's hope we all do. Proof is in the pudding, of course. We want to see it, not just against Kairat, but against Leeds and moving forward. Can we play with this much attacking intent, this much courage, bravery, etc., and go and win games rather than being scared of losing them? That has to be the motto moving forwards. And if we do that, and if players like Kai Havertz continue to play like he did last night, it's going to be good for the next 2 or 3 months. Trust me. Right, big game against Leeds, of course, on Saturday afternoon, isn't it? Yeah, I'll be back probably on Sunday with a breakdown of that particular match. So for now, it's a bye from me.